Hey guys, it's Milka. Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do another quick fountain pen review video for you guys today of another pen that I got this year, which I haven't really spoken about, and that is the Online. That is the name of the brand, literally. Online, okay. Bohemian Art White and Rose Gold. No, sorry. Bohemian Art White Rose is the name of the pen. Yes, the Online Bohemian Art White Rose. This is a stainless steel nib. Online is a German company. And I got this pen at the Paper Mouse, but I saw they also sell it, which is, by the way, the Paper Mouse is a stationery store in Boston. They have an online site. You should definitely check it out if you get a chance, because they sell a lot of interesting things. Like they have, there's this company called, was it Pampshade? Yes, Pampshade. And they make like croissant and all types of bread lights and lamps and stuff. So they sell that. They sell unique things from Japan. They also have a lot of cool inks that are a little maybe harder to find at other stores that you can actually get samples of. Apart from like Vanessa pens, right? They have they carry Wearing Gold, Dominant Industry, and a couple of like Kakimori and a couple of other. I believe they carry Kakimori. Harder to find. Oh, Colorverse, that was one that was a big deal for me, because I live in New York, so Yoseka carries Dominant Industry inks. But for me to be able to see a Colorverse inks in person, in store, that was such a big deal, to be able to swatch them and see if I like it before I get a sample. That was really, really cool. So that was one of the reasons I was excited to visit their store. But anyway, off topic, the Bohemian Art White Rose by Online. This is actually quite a decently priced pen. It is a stainless steel nib. It is a rose gold trim. It has a very small nib, but they call it a medium nib. Well, I realize this is zoomed in. Hold on. Yes, I'm not sure if you can see that, but this is quite a petite nib. The pen itself is quite small. I got rid of my, whatchamacallits, my Kaweco Sports. So let me pull up a couple of pens to compare before I talk more in detail. This is a Sailor Pro Gear Mini. So you can see this is, the Online pen is a little larger. Then we have a Sailor Pro Gear Slim, which will be a little taller than the Online pen. And then you can compare a Pelikan M600. Okay. For the size, you can see the Pelikan M600 is larger. This is meant to be like a pocket pen, the Online pen. Another comparison, let's do an Esterbrook Esty. Okay, and then you can see the Esty is got quite a bit of a difference here in size. And let's do a TWSBI Eco as well. And yeah, the whole piston is like a size over. So hopefully that was enough. And here, let me do a Decimo. So this is a Pilot Decimo. And the body is roughly the same size, but the clicker top is what sends it over. But yes, okay. And let me actually do, because I know some of you guys probably have these, one of these mini TWSBIs. Oh wow, okay. I'm glad that I decided to do that, because this is basically the size of a mini TWSBI, except the body of the TWSBI feels or looks a little, let me see, in the hand. No, they're about the same. The body of the TWSBI looks to be smaller because it's transparent, but actually it's a little bit more rounded, so it's a little wider to hold. So these would probably be the closest in size. The Sailor Pro Gear Slim, which is still a little larger, and then we have the online pen, I would say the closest is this TWSBI Mini. So let me put these pens away or to the side. And let me actually no, let me compare the nibs, since these are the closest size pens. So for and how they look once they're capped. So this would be capped. This pen has a twist cap. So you twist it a few times to cap it. All of these pens are inked, so I definitely want to be careful doing this. Okay, the TWSBI Eco, you can cap this. What? I didn't realize you can cap this. Wow, all of this time, wow, I had this pen for so long and I didn't. Milka, you're so silly. Okay. So that's a twist cap. I didn't even know that. I didn't see the rings. And then this is another twist cap. So comparing in size, just the length of the bodies with the caps, I would say that the online actually is longer once capped than the TWSBI Mini and the Sailor Pro Gear Mini. It's actually also longer than the Sailor Pro Gear Slim because this cap has a little bit more of a rounded. So this becomes quite larger than these other pens that are comparable in size. Let's also take a look at the nibs. The nib actually looks roughly around the same size as the Sailor nib. It may be a little harder to see because of the color of the nib, but yeah, they're all roughly about the same size. Apart from this Pro Gear pen, this has a larger nib. So finally, we'll take a look at now let's see how we're going to do this. What the body of the pen looks like side by side without being capped. To see the length, if you prefer writing uncapped. I'm just trying to line up the nibs, and I'm making a little barrier here with the caps to keep it from rolling. So I'm so excited about the fact that I can't believe all this time I've had this pen and I did not know. Okay, let's untwist this one as well. All right, so when it comes to size comparisons, let's take a look-see. I tried to line up the nibs. Okay. Yeah, I tried to line up the nibs so that we can get a more accurate depiction of it. Let me zoom in a little more for you guys to see. Now I have to line them up again. Okay. But the online pen is definitely longer than the Pro Gear Mini. Like, it feels significant. It's like a whole little top here longer, even though this has a larger nib. It's shorter than the TWSBI Mini body, and it's shorter than the Pro Gear Slim. Okay, so that was a little comparison. Now you guys could see roughly the sizes and very roughly the widths of these pens. Okay. Let me just cap them up. And to be honest, I know this is not a review. Sorry, I realized that this is so zoomed in right now. I know this is not a review of this this Pro Gear Mini by Sailor and Bunko Box. This is a Sailor Bunko Box exclusive, but I just love how small this pen is. And it's got a full-size cap. But anyway, that's not a review on this pen. If somebody wants to see that pen in more detail, you can feel free to let me know. Okay. And I'm just gonna hold these, cap it up. Okay, yes, so this is a really lovely pen. One qualm or that I have with this pen is just that the nib, the metal does not match the rose gold accents, which I think is a little bit of a shame, because if you're gonna have all of this rose gold and then you open the pen and it's just like a stainless steel color, it kind of throws it off a little, but it's not that big of a deal. This pen takes standard size cartridges, and it will also, like standard international cartridges, and it can also take international mini converter. Though I hear the Monteverde one has issue, like it can sometimes have issues. So this has actually a Kaweco converter in here that I use for this pen. And the writing. So this pen writes very juicy, very wet. You can write with it unposted too, depending on how comfortable you feel writing with smaller pens, depending on your hand size. I'm gonna do a writing sample to show you. This is a fine nib, but like I said, this pen writes very, very juicy. There have been many a times where I see the ink just completely disappear from the converter, you guys. Like, I had inked it up to here, and after writing with it, the ink is like here, and it will, like here, you know, and it will still keep writing, like even when you no longer see the ink. I don't know if it just holds a lot of ink in this like grip section area, but yes, I currently have this pen inked. This pen goes, because of the color, by the way, you can see the body has a slight translucency to it, and there is this pattern here. There's like, you can see the rose gold accents through the body, and I'm not sure if it'll pick up on camera, but there is like these lines that kind of cut through this almost pearlescent resin, and it is a pearlescent resin. It is very beautiful, and I don't think it's in focus. Are you in focus? Now it's in focus. Yes, pearlescent resin, and I think it picks up on camera. It's very beautiful. It's a very lovely pen. I actually took this pen to Stationery Fest, and I got a lot of compliments. Anytime I was showing my pens to people, everyone had complimented this pen. But yes, let's do a little writing sample. So this is the, I'll write it big for the name, online. Let me zoom in a little more actually for the writing sample. Okay, online Bohemian art white rose with a fine nib, and it is inked with Colorverse Halo Ring. I'll give you a little these figure eights, and we'll do one of those square things where you can see downstrokes, left to right, upstrokes, and right to left. The downstrokes are definitely the best with this pen. Let me see, does this one do reverse writing? Wow. I think not. I think it's drying out. No, it does. It does reverse writing. Wow, what a surprise. For such a wet pen, it's nice to know that it can do reverse writing. And let me give you a little close-up of the ink. Now, I know that the zoom in camera does not pick up an ink color quite well, so I'll just zoom out and bring this closer to you. Yeah. So that is the little review of this pen. One thing I will say, even though this is a really wet writer, I mentioned this in my currently inked video. I'm not sure which one of these is going out first, so it could be the currently inked, it could be this one. But I mentioned it in the currently inked video that even though this is such a juicy pen and it puts down a lot of ink, funnily enough, it will also, like if it's a dry ink, it'll put it down juicy, but it will hard start if you leave it for like a day or two laying in a certain position. So that is something curious. Like I find myself sometimes having to push the converter a little to prime the nib, because not for this ink isn't dry. The previous ink I used in there was not dry, but I did use sesame oil in here by Lennon Toolbar, and I've had to prime it, and I was like, what is going on? It's coming down so wet, but it's still having hard starts. So that was an interesting experience. But other than that, this is a really nice pen. I got it for like 60 something bucks. I think it was under $70. And it's got a nice quality. Since it takes like the Kaweco converter and it puts down a lot of ink, if you want to run through ink quicker, like if you're somebody who likes to change ink colors often, this could be a nice pen for that as well. It is a little bit more portable than some pens, you know, like for example, the ones that I showed you are already portable, but if you compare it to like a Leonardo Memento Zero Grande 2.0 or this pen, or like a Esterbrook Esty, this will be the more portable one. Or if you compare it to like a Pilot Custom 823, like these are larger pens. So, or a TWSBI Eco even, you know, these are larger pens. So they're going to take up a little bit more space. But there are small pens out there. So if you're just seeking an affordable, smaller pen option, you can do this. You can do the TWSBI Eco. If you like it for the design, then, you know, go for it. Like I said, I know that the Paper Mouse sells these, and I believe I also saw a listing on Cult Pens. So depending on where you live, with shipping and all of that, you can buy from whichever store you prefer. But thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.